Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Manly. I am doing a track breakdown today of my song Blood Prison, which comes out on my Revenge EP with Sounds of Mayhem. Let's get right into it. I think we're going to start off with the pardon me. I think we're going to start off with the intro. Now, for the intro, I've got multiple layers and multiple plugins, and I use a wide range of guitars, drums, Foley, FX. I do the whole list. Starting off with, I believe most of these FX are actually from Splice, and they're pretty simple. It's just to create ambient background noise, stuff like this. Other layers like this, which all of these are going to be EQ'd. I'm going to EQ, get rid of the low end. I then used Contact. I believe these two packs are the action strikes. Yeah. So the action strikes here, which pretty much it builds height. It's like an ensemble. It's actually really useful. I use it in pretty much a lot of my intros. I would definitely recommend using this. This isn't some secret sauce. This is pretty well known. But this is what it sounds like. And then I believe I use another layer with just a higher pitch, more hi-hats. And then going on to, I believe this is my guitar. Yes, so I've got my guitar here. No, sorry. I've got more drums. I've got my metal drums, actually. So I use Contact again, but I use Jay Weinberg's metal drums, which I believe is Slipknot, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, I might be wrong. But what the metal drums are doing, pretty much they go from this, just a simple hi-hat, to adding a snare, more hats, also panning it left and right. I've then got a EQ on that, pretty much just cutting out some of the stereos. I believe this layer is the kick. Yeah. And again, this is what it looks like. It's a very cool plugin. I recommend getting this. It's really, really cool. And they sound great too. Next up is my guitars, actually. Now, this is a while ago. I don't do my guitars like this anymore. But I've got 3 different layers. And usually what I would do is I'll do 3 to 6 or even more, depending on how hectic I want to get with it. But I'll usually pan some of the guitars to the left, some to the right, and then some in the middle. Have like a high level or like a high frequency guitar and like a really dark grungy low guitar, and then like a couple mids. For the guitar, I'm using the Shreddage 3 Hydra, which is also in Contact. And along with that, I'm using 2 amps. I'm using the Archetype Gorgia and just a regular amp. And then I've got a channel rack, which is just gaining some of the lows, highs, making it sound nice. What this is doing is, this one is like this. Yeah, so that's one layer. Pretty much they're all doing the same thing. They all just sound different, right? So again, this is cutting out all of that low end, I believe. No, so this one still has low end. It's just a different Gorgia and amp. A different, preset, I guess you could say. I believe this one is the higher frequency. Yeah, so this is the one without low end. And I'm actually using the Archetype a bassy amp instead of the Gaucher for this one. But yeah, going on, we've got more Foley, more effects, you know, just keeping it more evil, dark. This is all stuff that I found off Splice, by the way. This isn't like anything that too hectic. You can find a lot of cool ambient sounds off Splice. That's just a simple impact that I use. And then I've got some more rises. Yep, and this trigger down here, this is for the Jay Weinberg kick. So whenever that triggers, that actually, the kicks punch through and everything kind of ducks. Because without it, it sounds very muffled and you can't really hear the kick or the drums coming through as much. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the intro. I do have a couple of things like a tape stop, which I use on the entire intro to give it that sound where it goes kind of thing. So you'll be able to hear it here. That, you know, that adds and allows me to implement a new sound, like the guitar, like a different guitar riff or different drums, which gives it, you know, a cool sounding intro. In context, this is what it sounds like. But yeah, so that's the intro. Next, I would say the drums that I'm using. I'm using a lot of drums. Well, not like a lot, but I've got Neonix kick, which sounds phenomenal. And that's pretty much being used with a transient shaper, which I'm just using on attack, pump, and sustain, and then I'm clipping that as well. For the hats, I'm using an active hat, and then I've got these death symbols, which I'm not entirely sure whose they are. I think it might be either agony or punishment. But yeah, that's pretty much, that sounds like this. Sick. And then we've got some toms, which I found off Splice. But yeah, for the drums, actually, this is kind of cool. So this project is in 145 BPM. It sounds very slow because it's halftime. I did the drums in a halftime to increase the intensity of the song. It's a bit hard for people to, like, I guess, headbang to, but it gives it like that 110, 120, 135 BPM kind of feel with like most tear out tracks that people are doing nowadays. But I just hate how slow it is, so that's why I kept it 145. But the drums are doing this pretty much. Actually, I think the vocals are on that too, so I'll just turn those off. There you go. I do have a snare and a clap. So I've got a death snare, again, could be agony or punishment. And then I've got just a Neonix clap as well. Neonix has great drums, insane drums. Right, we're going to the next, which would be the vocals. Now the vocals, I actually have... I've got this on it. So this lead vocal source, I can't remember exactly where I got it from. I think I got it from a YouTube video, but I've been using it ever since for my vocals. It's insanely useful. You know, you can low cut, you can add glue, add reverb. It pretty much increases it and makes it all into the one thing here. You can make it brighter, you can make it sound nice, you can, you know, really make your vocals stand out. It's got a compressor and, you know, OTT and whatnot. I would recommend finding this. I don't know what YouTube video it was, but I do know it's from YouTube. I'm using a Q3 to just, duck out some of the harsh sounds. And then I've got a G clip and a compressor. But yeah, that's what the vocals are doing, and how they sound is like this. Yeah. What else? So that's pretty much the vocals. We can put the vocals into the intro, see how that sounds. But yeah, so that's how the vocals sit in the intro and the mix. But yeah, going on to the bass group. This is actually a really, really cool project because it's one of my most like minuscule amount of track layers on like a bass drop. I think excluding the sub, I think it's like five layers. We'll start off with the sub. This sub is pretty much something that I learnt from Sisto. Got a nice serum, got a LFO1 which dips down, which you just put on the chorus pitch, and then LFO2 which is your movement, I guess to say. And then I've also got these, I don't know what you call these, but you can tweak these and you can get your sub and sound sounding a lot different. I know number 1 and number 3 is like, if you crank those, you'll get a deep sub. But yeah, the sub sounds like this. Pretty much just like that. I've got those to follow the bass group, which is doing this. I've got some Foley, which is from, I believe, the Punishment pack. And what I've done is I've just stretched it and tweaked it a little. But yeah, so we got the one layer, which is the gun. And then I've got another layer on top of that, which is this. And then I've got the third layer, which is, I believe it's a higher pitch. Yeah. And again, pretty much the exact same on this layer. Just a different tonality. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that drop. What it sounds like in context with everything is like this. In my opinion, the vocals and the drums carry the hell out of that first drop. That's one of my most unique drops that I've done. I really do like it. But yeah, going on to the breakdown, what I did was use all the same elements in the first intro, I just changed it up. You know, different vocals, different guitar, different drums. Well, sorry, same drums and same guitar, but just reworked it. This is what it sounds like in context, I guess.
The light abandons me and leaves me to drown. Trains in the eyes, bandages on the truth. All I've been crawling, ready for the deserts. Even false promises will not tell my soul. I'm just too deep, I'm a sucking childhood. Fuck him, here is a tough life.
Again, exactly the same, just different. Just moved it around a bit. The drums are doing this instead. And then the guitar is doing this. Something cool with the guitar actually. If you go into it down here where it's got the velocity, if you're using the Hydra guitar, if you crank the velocity all the way up to the top, it gives it that like, I guess like higher pitch sound for the guitar, which is really cool. I love messing around with that. As in for like the for the FX as well, I've just got a simple sweep that goes up and down. It's just a Cashmere one. It just does that. Very simple. My sidechain, I use a utility on the bass group, which I just duck every time a drum hits. So just something simple like that. Very simple. You can also use like chain shaper, and there's a whole bunch of other methods that you can use. This is just what I use. Now, I am also going to show you. Actually, first off, with all of these bass sounds, except for the gun, they were in Serum. So that's why there's no actual post-processing on them. But it's actually it's funny. When I do my sounds in Serum, I don't actually use post-processing. I think the only post-processing I'll use will be an EQ and a reverb. So all of this was done in Serum. I just had to change it to audio because my computer can't handle this project. It's a bit annoying, but yeah, that's how I made those sounds. Yeah, going on to the second drop. Drums pretty much same. I think I tweaked them very minor, moved them around a little. My bad. I should have turned that off. I actually went back to normal time for these drums here, which I've just noticed. But yeah, same drums, just normal time. Vocals are different. They exact same processing, just different vocals. Now, as for the bass drop, again, same utility on the sidechain for the bass. Sub, exactly the same. I'm just making it follow the bass drop. Same guns, same Foley, exact same sounds. I think I've just taken this sound from Serum and I've actually just changed the tonality of it and put it in here. And I've also made it do instead of just half notes. So that's that layer. This layer here is exactly like the first layer, just reversed and swept up. This layer is the high pitch. Yeah. And then this layer would be the exact same as the other layers, just probably a half note or a bar. And then this one, exactly the same as the bottom one, just change the LFO on those. But yeah, in context, this is what it sounds like.
Excludes the downs.
Yeah, so that's the second drop for Blood Prison. Just thinking if there's anything else I can quickly go over. I do have a Disinity riser, which is a cracked riser from my homeboy. Pretty much just bled the track out, made it sound like it was fading away with the vocals. But yeah, that's everything for the intro, bass, drums, FX. I really like how the track came along. Yeah, I think the only other thing would probably be what I put on my master, which I use an Ozone 9, I use dynamics, and what I do is with that is I cut it up into 4 sections, so I go like lows, mids, mid-highs, and highs. And then I tweak the compression, put up the gain, mess around with, you know, how loud I want something to be, if I want something to be more prominent, if I want something to be quieter. And what it looks like this when you open it. So you can see how I've got lows, mids, and highs. And then you just mess around with the levels, you know, your gain, your attack. But yeah, that's what I do for that. And then I use a G clip, pretty much just clip 100%. I should actually have the 2 times oversample on. I usually do. And I usually have a bit of softness as well. And then I've just got a loudness meter to see how loud it is. But yeah, that pretty much concludes the breakdown of this track. I'm really glad and happy actually about how the whole EP came along. Shout out to Sounds of Mayhem. Thank you for having the EP. Also, Disinity. We cooked a crazy track. Yeah, go listen to my EP. It's out now on Sounds of Mayhem. Hope you guys enjoy this breakdown.
Excludes the downs.